Hey everybody, let's go over chapter 9. Um, it's Sunday here. I've had a great day. So let's go over the study guide. Alright. What is an organic compound? Contains carbon, hydrogen, often combined with a few other elements such as oxygen and nitrogen. What percentage of known compounds are considered organic compounds? 90% are considered organic compounds, which means they have at least hydrogen and carbon. Why is carbon able to form so many compounds? Because carbon has 4 valence electrons, so it can form 4 single covalent bonds, a double bond and 2 single bonds, or a triple and a single bond. How many valence electrons does carbon have? 4. What are the properties of diamonds? Now remember, these are the forms of carbon: diamond, graphite, and fullerene. What are some properties of diamonds? They are covalently bonded, 3D structure, and have a network solid. What makes a diamond so strong? Its 3D structure makes it rigid, compact, and strong, and a network solid. What are the properties of graphite? It is soft and slippery and arranged in widely spaced layers. So, what makes graphite so slippery and the layers able to slip past each other? Between the widely spaced layers, the bonds are weak, which allows the layers to slide past each other. But remember, the bonds within each layer are strong. What are the properties of fullerenes? They are large, hollow spheres or cages of carbon. Sorry. On the surface of the cage, the atoms form alternating hexagons and pentagons like a soccer ball cover. And what is a hydrocarbon? A hydrocarbon is an organic compound that contains only the elements hydrogen and carbon. So there's no substituted hydrocarbons in these. There's no substitution. That's called a substituted hydrocarbon. Substituted hydrocarbon are all the bonds are single bonds, and it contains, sorry, this says saturated hydrocarbon. This is where all the bonds between the carbons are single bonds, and it contains the maximum possible number of hydrogen atoms for each carbon atom. Number 12, what is another name for a saturated hydrocarbon? An alkane. Means that all the carbons are single bonded to each other. That's what that means. An alkane means that they're single bonded between the 2 carbons, or the 3 carbons, or however many. Number 13, what are the factors that determine the properties of a hydrocarbon? The number of carbon atoms and how the atoms are arranged. Like, is it a ring? Is it a straight carbon? Or is it a branched? What are the 3 arrangements of carbon atoms? That's a straight chain, a branched chain, or a ring. What affects the state of matter of an alkane in a straight chain? The number of carbon atoms affects the state of an alkane at room temperature. What state of matter is methane and propane? So it's a gas. Because there aren't so many carbons, methane means 1, eth means 2, propane means 2. So those are gases at room temperature. 17, what is the state of matter for what is the state of matter for pentane and octane? Liquids. Pentane means 5, octane means 8, 10, and deca means 10. How is the boiling point affected in a straight chain hydrocarbon? When more carbon atoms are added, the boiling point increases. What's the isomer? What is an isomer? It's a compound with the same molecular formula but different structural formulas. So it's still going to be C2H10, but one could be a ring and one could be a straight chain carbon or a branch chain or something. What happens to the boiling point of an isomer? The boiling point usually will decrease, and the differences in the structure affect the boiling point. 21, what's an unsaturated hydrocarbon? It's a hydrocarbon that contains 1 or more double or triple bonds. So unsaturated means that they have to have at least 1 double or triple bond. 22, what are the 3 types of unsaturated hydrocarbons? Alkenes, alkynes, and aromatic hydrocarbons. Number 23, what kind of carbon-to-carbon bonds do alkenes form? The carbon-to-carbon bond means that they have to at least have 1 double bond. Okay, so like ethene has a double bond between the two carbons because that's all you have. So anything with an ene on the end of it, ene, means that they have to have at least one double bond. 24, what kind of carbon to carbon bonds do alkynes have? They have to at least have a triple bond. So like ethine, they have a triple bond between the two carbons. All right, what's a fossil fuel? Mixtures of hydrocarbons that are formed from the remains of plants or animals. What is coal formed from? 3 million years ago in ancient swamps, plant remains. 26. What are some properties of coal? They are aromatic hydrocarbons, which means they have a smell to it, and coal does, with high molar mass and a high ratio of carbon to hydrogen. Burning coal also produces more soot than burning fossil fuels than other fossil fuels. Burning other fossil fuels does. What is natural gas formed from? The remains of marine organisms. Petroleum is also formed from the marine organisms, the remains of marine organisms. What are some properties of petroleum? It is pumped from deep beneath the Earth's surface. It is a complex liquid mixture of hydrocarbons comprised mainly of long branched alkanes and alkenes. So that means that they are either single bonded or at least have some double bonds. Okay, and on page 268, there's a picture of the distillation, and please make sure you look over that, okay? You got to know with the tower, it says, how is petroleum or crude oil separated? Fractional distillation. And on page 268, there's the tower, and what's happening is the petroleum is heated up in the distillation tower, and it goes over as crude oil. And at first, the highest boiling point comes out, which is asphalt. Okay, and then the next boiling point comes out, and then the next one, and the next one, and it goes all the way up. The carbons decrease as they go up, and the boiling points decrease as you go up. And I think the highest one is gasoline. Okay, and then it's like jet fuel and all that. So the lowest boiling point is going to be at the top, and the highest boiling point is going to be at the bottom. So it says petroleum is heated in a distillation tower and is separated by boiling point. Compounds with higher boiling points condense first and are collected near the bottom of the tower. Okay, page 268. 34. What are the main products of the complete combustion of fossil fuels? Carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so when fossil fuels combust, which means they burn in the presence of oxygen, they always produce carbon dioxide and water. 35. What are the main products of the complete combustion of fossil fuels? It's carbon monoxide and water. It's an incomplete combustion because it doesn't all go to completion. It doesn't all burn because something's probably not working properly. 36. Why is carbon monoxide dangerous? Because it's colorless, odorless gas and can be inhaled and absorbed by blood, and it keeps hemoglobin from carrying oxygen to its cell. So basically, you suffocate inside your body. 37. What is the result of the complete combustion of fossil fuels? Burning fossil fuels increases the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This increase may affect temperatures, amounts of rain, and sea levels worldwide. Some sulfur and nitrogen are in fossil fuels, and air contains nitrogen. So nitrogen oxides and sulfur dioxide are produced during the combustion of fossil fuels. So when you have rain, it's a little acidic anyways. And then when you burn fossil fuels, that's how you get acid rain, and it can become even more acidic. And it's because you have sulfur and nitrogen when you burn fossil fuels, and those mix with the water, and that's what makes sulfur oxides become nitric acid, and it makes sulfur become sulfuric acid. How does the combustion of fossil fuels cause acid rain to increase? I just answered that, sorry. Sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides released into the atmosphere also dissolve in water, forming sulfuric acid and nitric acid, so making the pH of the rain decrease even as low as 2.7. All right, 39. What does the prefix on the hydrocarbon refer to? Means how many carbons. So again, meth means one carbon. Eth means two carbons. Um, prop means three. Bute means four. And then the other ones are on page, refer to page, I think it's like 276 or something. Um, 40, what does the suffix on the hydrocarbon refer to? So again, ane means that it is a saturated hydrocarbon, so it has single bonds between the hydrogen carbons. Ene means that it has at least one double bond between the carbons, and then ine means that it has at least one triple bond between the carbons. 41. Okay, so we need to listen to this one, okay? So, what is a substituted hydrocarbon? Yes, it's a hydrocarbon in which one or more of the hydrogen atoms have been replaced by a atom or group of atoms, okay? So, what's the functional group? It's a substituted atom or group of atoms, and it determines or changes the property of the compound. Okay, and 43, what are the 6 substituted hydrocarbons we talked about in this chapter? Alcohols, organic acids, organic bases, esters, amino acids, and halocarbons. Okay, so what's a functional group of an alcohol? The functional group of an alcohol is going to be hydroxyl or the OH. Okay, so an alcohol is a substituted hydrocarbon, and alcohol is, and then the hydroxyl is the functional group. Okay, so this actual substitute hydrocarbon is alcohol, and then the functional group is the hydroxyl. The functional group of an organic acid is carboxyl, which is the group is COOH. What suffix does an organic acid have? An ic, like ethanoic acid. Let's see. What is a functional group of an organic base? It's an amine group, and the compound is NH2. 46, what's an ester? It forms when organic acids react with alcohols. So again, on this one, an alcohol and an organic acid react and produce esters and water. So the reactants are organic acids and alcohols, and the products are going to be ester and water. Flowers produce esters, and esters are used for artificial fruit flavors. I just answered this, sorry. 49, what are the reactants of an ester? Organic acid and alcohol. And 50, what are the products of an ester? It's ester and water. 51, what is a monomer? It's a smaller molecule that joins together to form a polymer. Monomer is the one, and polymer means many of them. Okay, so many monomers. What's a polymer? It's a large molecule that forms when many smaller molecules are linked together by covalent bonds. And then how are monomers linked? Covalent bonds. I'm going to stop, and I think this is getting long, so I'll come back to it.